So, to start off, Daedric princes, also known as Daedric regents, Daedric lords, Daedric lords of misrule, lords and ladies of oblivion, and the second litter of the to the Khajiit. They're called the second
Litter.
That's what they're known as to the Khajiit,
Interesting.
or cat shit, whatever you want to call them. Are the most powerful of the Daedra, and thus most commonly worshipped as gods. Each has a particular sphere, which is said to govern. In fact, Demi Prince Fa Nuet Hin stated that a broad and well-defined sphere of influence that enables clarity of purpose and focused expression of will is what made a prince a prince. So them controlling a sphere is literally what makes them a prince. The various Daedric princes and their spheres are listed, what we're going to be going through. So Daedric princes may assume a typically masculine or typically feminine form, sometimes both. They are usually referred to as princes regardless of what gender they are, and they appear most frequently as. In all, there are 18 powerful princes known to mortals. And we're going to be covering, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 8 of them today.
Yeah.
So 8 of the 18, basically. So we'll be covering Azura, Boethiah, Clavicus Vile, Hermaeus Mora, Hircine, Athelia, and Jigalag. Each Daedric prince, with the exception of Jigalag, is said to have their own plane of oblivion, over which they have control. Proper oblivion realms, such as the main realms of each prince, is said to be infinite in scale. The realm of each prince is said to be fundamentally shaped and curated by their will and changed to accommodate their slightest whim, to the extent that it has been said some of the princes in the realm and some that the prince is the realm and the realm is the prince. So, like the Daedric prince themselves are their own realms. Like that's literally what the realm is them.
Quite the philosophy right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Though for most Daedric beings, creating a realm is an enormous undertaking and it requires enormous will and power. The Daedric princes are said to possess such might that in ages past they formed vast and practically limitless domains around the initial seed of the realm. As such, some of them are known to also have sway over adjunct realms or border realms, such as the infinite archive of Apocrypha, which lie within their plane's greater fabric. Some of these border realms have been described as having extensive or infinite scale, and not lying within the same time and space as the prince's main plane. The limits on their planes, powers, and influence are not readily understood, as there are over 37,000 other planes in the Elder Scrolls universe, such as the Soul Cairn, the Chimera of Dissolution,
Quite the airport there.
Plot.
Quite the fucking LaGuardia airport. There's a lot of planes.
A lot of planes. The kind where they're just flying in and out constantly.
I was just doing a play on words.
I know. Over which they are not known to exert control. And indeed, there exists far more than that, with accounts from the Daedra describing the minor realms of oblivion as overall being infinite in both number and complexity. The planes of oblivion are said to exhibit infinite variation, much like the Daedra that inhabit them. Thus, it is said that they share little in common, being the very definition of change and variation, manifesting all possibilities and validating all understanding and misunderstanding. Indeed, it is said that there are that what the mortal senses perceive while in an oblivion realm is crafted from illusion and metaphor, the result of their mind attempting to make sense of the surrounding chaos. Because of this phenomenon, things like the grass one might perceive while in an oblivion realm are actually just a memory of that thing as interpreted by the mortal mind. The smaller planes are said to often twist into hypergenial paradoxes in an attempt to resist any sort of order being imposed on them, or wink in and wink out of existence, making it difficult for Daedra to gain a foothold there. The term pocket realm is is said to refer to any minor plane of oblivion, whether it is autonomous from the rule of a Daedric prince, semi-autonomously under the rule of a prince-appointed functionary, or fully incorporated by a prince. The realms comprising oblivion are described as being part of a different universe or a different dimension in relation to Mundus, which is the mortal Adra-controlled realm.
Okay.
The Daedric princes seem to view men and myrrh as little more than minor amusements, occasionally applauding the actions of mortals whenever they exceed their expectations. They do not know the mortal sense of good and evil and usually have extremist tendencies, which is why myrrh and men fear them greatly. However, several princes do seem to take genuine pleasure in tremendous acts of devastation. In particular, Boethiah, Malagbal, Vermina, Mehrunes Dagon, and Periite. Although the beings are considered evil by most, they are widely worshipped in the realms of Tamriel. Elaborate shrines are created to honor the Daedra as gods. They often take a keen interest in their worshippers, and it is speculated that this is either because of the obvious ego gratifications of being somebody's god, or because the Daedra like to keep an eye on potential future subjects. Assuming some of the demonic disposition enter oblivion after death, that is, there are many afterlife theories and religions in the world of Tamriel, though. Mainstream religious authorities discourage Daedra worship and often mount witch hunting expeditions to drive Daedra worshippers from an area. You do that as one of the Nords. You go through and just kill people.
Well,
during these encounters, they are often surprised by the marginal sanity that comes from worshiping the Daedric princes. For the most part, however, dealing with the Daedra, one gets the distinct impression of being amused over as a person peering under an upturned rock may momentarily wonder at the lives of the bugs living ignorantly there. The Daedric princes can be summoned, and there is a popular notion that the summoned lords will then give the summoner a quest or task to fulfill, that the quest, once completed, will make the quester richly rewarded. Which,
that. I think in Merwin, if you find the statues of specific Daedric princes, they'll because Merwin was a bit more hardcore and not as hand holding as Skyrim.
Yes.
And you really had to go out of your way to find these things. Because I found one accidentally when I was playing a game, and this huge fucking text box popped up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I heard whispering, like because the Daedric prince was whispering in its own language or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was saying, and that huge text, because it's all done in like the same language of like the game. You gotta like pretty much like pull out the meaning of what they're trying to tell you to do. And then you go to your journal, and it finally tells you, like, oh, you got to go here and do this and do that. And you get this sword or something. But it was trippy finding it on your own. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And mostly if you found one that was populated with the worshippers.
Assholes were always angry.
Always well-armored, always getting ready to just destroy you every time you go in there.
But I didn't know that until later that I had activated the statue that had the Daedric prince talking to me. I was just like, what the fuck is this statue talking to me for?
So yeah, it does throw you off. Like you said, Morrowind was a much more harder core game than Skyrim. Skyrim is more for everyone.
Yeah.
Here's where the statue is.
Here's a fast travel. You don't have to go to a mage in this specific town to fast travel.
Oh, that was the one thing that bothered me a lot, but it's like it was part of the game that you had to do. Where you had to go to the Mages Guild every single fucking time.
You look like a Silt Rider, or ride those big ass fucking Ubers.
Yes.
Basically, like those bugs that look like fleas.
And they tried to bring those back in Solstheim, where they had the Stilt Rider.
I haven't played Solstheim that much. My cousin's dead.
Yeah, you can use the travel of a Stilt Strider. But it's like, you're really trying to bring this back from Morrowind, aren't you?
Or you'd be a dumbass like me and you kill one in a specific place, so you can teleport, you can travel to that one, but you can't travel out of that one because I killed the Stilt Rider. I killed the guy.
But see, you could do that though in Morrowind. You could fuck up your entire gameplay to where...
Yes, I know. I was like, fuck, man. And he never came back.
You can't do that really in anything to do with Skyrim.
They always drop to their knees like,
and then stand right back up.
Like, well, I feel better.
See, Morrowind would have let you kill Ulfric.
Look, they kill Vivek, too.
Yeah. Kill the god of that world. Or like the mortal god of the world, anyway.
Took everything you had, too.
But you could do it. You could definitely do it. However, this is probably not true of most Daedric summons, and the summoner would do well to consider the consequences of his actions in advance. A, a consecrated shrine is the most reliable conduit for contacting a Daedric prince, though there are other ways to make contact with the powers of oblivion. With Adra and Daedra are precisely defined, while Adra and Daedra are precisely defined, there are still some beings who challenge this dichotomy in their respects. Malakath, who legend holds was once the Adra Trinimac, is particularly hostile to other Daedra. He even created Scourge, Bane of Daedra. According to Mankar Kumaran, Lorkhan is a Daedric prince whose sphere is Tamriel, which was from Morrowind. However, this is uncorroborated, and little is known of the mysterious trickster deity. While some stories suggest that Lorkhan is impervious to death, similar to a Daedra, he is also credited with helping to bring about creation. In fact, for many sources, it was allegedly his idea. Obscure stories also question the origins of Meridia and Mehrunes Dagon. Just like with other beings, each reality along the many paths contained its own version of each entity, be they mortal or Daedra. Even deities such as the Daedric princes have their own alternate versions within the realities. These alternate versions are said to be reflections of one another, different in some ways like images of a cracked mirror, but originating from the same seed. However, there is at least one reality where concepts such as magic and Daedra do not exist at all. Like in the weird setup of
multiverse or whatever Tamriel is.
So the first Daedric prince that we have is Azura. Azura of the Crimson Gate, also known as Queen of the Dawn and Dusk, the Mother Soul, Moon Shadow, Moon of the Rose, Queen of the Night Sky, Twilight Queen, the Rim of all holes.
Weird.
The Cosmic Server, and called Azura by the Khajiit with an H instead of just ending in an A.
Okay, Azura.
Yeah. Is a Daedric prince whose sphere is dusk and dawn, the magic in between realms of twilight, as well as mystery and magic, fate and prophecy, and vanity and egotism. Azura is one of the few Daedra who maintains the appearance of being good by mortal standards, and reportedly feels more concerned for the well-being of her mortal subjects than other Daedric princes. It is said she wants their love above all else, and for her worshippers to love themselves. It pains her whenever they do not. This attitude leads to an extremely devoted following. She is also one of the few princes who constantly maintains a female image, and is perceived accordingly. In Khajiiti creation myths, Azura is credited with introducing moon sugar to Khajiit, and this belief is also told within tales aimed at Khajiiti children.
Yeah, I didn't know moon sugar was illegal. I don't know if it was a shopkeeper or a cop that I talked to in the game, like one of those guards.
Yeah.
But when they found out I had moon sugar on me, I think the shopkeeper wouldn't make a deal or make business with me or something. Like, he would not like barter with me if I had moon sugar on me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? So you carry the sugar. I'm like, well, what the fuck is sugar? Because I didn't know it was fucking illegal.
Yeah.
You know, no one tells you when you first play the game, especially because it wasn't dropped on the Xbox. That was the first type of game like that.
Yes.
On a console.
Because I had never even played Daggerfall. I never played that.
Right.
It was on an older systems of computers and stuff. I didn't know anything about this. Like, Morrowind was my first experience with Elder Scrolls.
Like a deep-seated RPG.
And it drew you in automatically. But yeah, I didn't know about moon sugar either. It's like you go through, you get caught. It's like, you got moon sugar, huh? It's like, fuck.
Maybe when we're going to stand here and make you eat all of it. Like, oh, no. You're fucking high as a kite.
Looks like, you lost.
What?
Oh, you lost?
Well, damn. It's life.
All right. The 5 Songs of the King Wolfhearth claims that Alondro Sol is the immortal son of Azura. While Azura is considered one of the good Daedra by the Dunmer of Morrowind, elsewhere, she has been known to be allied with Malak Bal, who is known to the Dunmer as one of the 4 corners of the House of Troubles. The people of the Iliac Bay region believe that Azura bewitches some of her followers to become her lovers and virtual slaves. Her followers acknowledge that her followers acknowledge that she is cruel but wise. In addition to being one of her many sobriquets, Moon Shadow is also the name of Azura's realm in Oblivion. Azura star, the twilight star, is visible at dawn and dusk, low on the horizon below the constellation of the Steed. Her summoning day is Hoggathum, a festival of the 21st of the first seed. Then we have Boethiah.
Boethiah.
Mm-hmm.
Boethiah sounds familiar.
Or Boethiah, I guess is how they want you to pronounce it, but I've always known it as Boethiah.
Mm.
I speak English. I'm not going to go out of my way for that one.
Yeah, man. You say vine, then you see vineyard. It's not that complicated. It's many. It's also minute. What's
Yes.
so hard about that? And they're spelled exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Or tear and tear. Read and read.
I hate that one too. It's all about context, I guess,
Yes, it is.
in our language.
So, Boethiah is also known as the Prince of Plots, the Daedric Prince of Cruelty and Torture, the Dark Warrior, Deceiver of Nations, Queen of Shadows, Goddess of Destruction, Hunger, and Fount of Inspiration.
That bitch.
He who destroys and she who erases, Boethiah the Schemer, the Dark Mistress, and called Boethra by the Khajiit.
Hmm.
The Khajiit always have a fucking different name for these people. So the Boethiah is a Daedric prince who rules over deceit, conspiracy, secret plots of murder, assassination, treason, and unlawful overthrow of authority. This fear is destructive in nature, and Boethiah's destructiveness comes from inspiring the arms of mortal warriors. The Dark Warrior has been described as cold and impersonal, cruel, and one of the more demonic of the Daedric lords. Worshippers are known to hold bloody competitions in Boethiah's honor, battling, even killing each other, for Boethiah is said to care only for their blood. In Morrowind, the Daedra known as the Hunger, foul creatures that are eternally bone thin, are associated with the prince.
Two like green, I think.
I think so, yeah.
All like little dinosaurs, if I remember right. They weren't because they weren't scams.
No, they weren't scams. that and those fucking birds.
God, a cliff.
Yeah, the cliff racers. Yeah,
We're called. I probably killed like 6 billion of them. Yeah, then they'd be fucking extinct after what I was with them.
They reproduce so fast.
Jesus, they must. They have to.
Boethiah sees battle as a blessing and is frequently depicted as a great caped warrior, often in a stoic pose. While sometimes described as a male, Boethiah is also commonly referred to as a female, sometimes within the same text. Notably,
Female with a swinging cock.
exactly. Boethiah is usually depicted as a male in Morrowind, but is also known for taking the form of a Dunmer warrior queen. She rules from the realm of attribution share. Boethiah often manifests using trickery, unpredictable avatars who can appear as male or female of any race. These avatars become involved with important or momentous events, working behind the scenes to achieve an outcome that serves Boethiah's will. They will often challenge mortals, seeking to test the mettle of heroes and commoners alike. After a trial ends, the avatar is likely to vanish, leading to strange and mysterious stories and legends among the participants. Despite the dark undertones of Boethiah's fear and influence of Tamriel, the prince was considered in Morrowind as one of the 3 good Daedra, and the anticipation of Almexia by the old tribunal temple and one of the reclamations by the new temple. The Prince of Plots has a scion, the demi-prince Fa Nuit Hin. Despite this, the information broker Madame Wim believes that the demi-prince did not actually originate from Boethiah, while also stating that Boethiah supports their claim of scionship. In the same interview, Wim would describe how Daedric princes have been known to adopt scions in the past. In the 5 songs of King Wulfharth, Lorkhan states that the Nerevar is the son of Boethiah, one of the strongest Patamaics, but it is unclear how literal the statement was. Malik Bal, as one of the corners of the House of Troubles, is considered Boethiah's archenemy in Morrowind, and they are in a perennial fight. Boethiah can be summoned on Gauntlet, the second of Sun's Dusk. So she's got a thing going against Malik Bal. They hate each other.
Yeah.
Then we have one of the better Daedra, Clavicus Vile.
So the guy with a Scottish accent?
No, that's what is his name again? Not the crazy one.
Okay.
That's the Clavicus Vile is the one that you get the mask of Clavicus Vile, where it's got the horns
Yeah.
with the dog. Clavicus Vile, also known as the Prince of Trickery and Bargains, the consummate politician of oblivion, the master of insidious wishes, and godchild of the Morning Star. So you know who they based this off of. They based him off of Loki or off of Lucifer. Again, he makes deals. Is a Daedric prince whose fear is the granting of power and wishes through ritual invocations and pacts. He is seen as one of the more sophisticated of the Daedric princes, and often appears in the guise of a jovial Scaphan, a race of horned Daedra that inhabit the fields of regret, his realm of oblivion. Clavicus Vile is also known as Nikot. According to some, this name was created by the mortal Nikotic cult, who didn't have the knowledge to properly read the Daedric alphabet, misreading the first 5 letters of Vile's Daedric name as Nikot upon mistaking the runes for Tamrielic letters. However, the name was used by the Scaphan to refer to Vile over 300 years before the cult's prominence. Clavicus finds eternity to his boring. Clavicus Vile finds eternity to be boring, quote unquote. So he finds entertainment in watching mortals occasionally meddle in their affairs. He has been known to be the patron of vampires, gracing them with social stature, reason, and savvy, allowing them not only to live among regular mortals, but to hold powerful positions in society. However, not all of Vile's machinations are necessarily insidious. He has been known to reward those who, on his direction, eliminate threats to the general public, while still serving his own interests. So Vile is rarely seen without his loyal companion Barbas, the dog that he wants you to kill.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, that I could talk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Barbas typically assumes the form of a dog, but is also known to appear as a scamp named Creeper. The two are so close, Barbas is almost universally depicted alongside his master in artwork and statuary. In fact, Vile has been known to store up to half of his power within Barbas.
Damn.
Which is why in Skyrim, whenever you have to help him, he's like, well, I might be losing half my power if I kill the dog. These facts have led to speculation that the pair are, in fact, 2 halves of the same being. It is said Clavicus Vile is the most carefully neutral Daedric prince, though he has at times created alliances, such as his role with the Triad. He is also the enemy of Ebornarm. Clavicus Vile's summoning day coincides with the New Life Festival, the first day of Morningstar. According to some sources, Vile views himself as a playful and fun-loving god who basks in the sun alongside his favorite companion Barbas. This mindset is said to be reflected in the idyllic form his realm takes, making his domain less a normal place like one would find in Nim and more of a state of mind. Despite the view of himself, Vile's games are noted as being dangerous, making caution necessary whenever approaching him. It's like...
He's all chills and thrills.
He's basically like if you combine Lucifer, Loki, and like a kid.
Basically, yeah.
Where he wants to be carefree, even though he's not necessarily carefree. And last one we'll cover for today is Noah's favorite, Hermaeus Mora.
Hermaeus Mora.
Hermaeus Mora, sometimes known as Hermaeus, Humus, Herma Mora, Daedra, Prince of Forbidden Knowledge, the Demon of Knowledge, the One Who Knows, the Master of Tides of Fate, Gardener of Men, Prince of Fate, Lord of the Secrets, the Keeper of Forbidden Knowledge, the Golden Eye, the Great Eye, Daedra, Abyssal Sephirolarch, Old Antecedent, Scryer, He Who Records All Knowledge, an Inevitable Knower, Lord of Fate and Knowledge. He's got a fucking list of titles.
So that Ooze one?
Yes.
Okay, the tentacle one?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't like him. I like the book stuff, though.
Yes. That's why I said,
yeah,
your favorite one. Also known,
I'd be like, bro, you're fucking spitting on me. You keep talking to me. You're spitting all over me, man.
Oh, he's always like slush door.
Yeah, basically.
Also known to the ancient Admorans and Bosmer as Hermamora, the Woodland Man, or that which speaks in the wastes. To the Aelids, Hermamora, and the Khajiit as the Tide King, and Hermora. And the Daedric Prince...
also known as Little Wayne.
whose fear is forbidden knowledge. Hidden shoals.
Really? For his fear? Think he would love that shit.
Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's afraid of that? Weird.
Hidden shoals, whirlpools, and sudden squalls, destiny, and the scrying of the tides of fate. Weaving his way through the past and future as read in the stars and heavens, and in whose domain are the treasures of knowledge and memory. His curiosity is insatiable, and he seeks all knowledge, and not to change but to observe, so that all becomes known. He weeps cold tears at the plague of ignorance, where knowledge is forsaken out of fear of misuse, and seeks to enlighten all to all mysteries that have ever and will ever exist.
Man after my own heart.
You become Hermaeus.
Yeah, basically. That was the whole game just leads up to you taking his mantle. And he retires into oblivion.
Oh, no. The benevolence presented by his followers may be a facade, as Mora is said to hoard his knowledge and give nothing away for free. Like all Daedric princes, he's not to be trifled with, but he is subtler than most of his ilk and ensnares mortals with secrets. He may seem cruel at times, but he's not irrational. Mora hoards and safeguards any knowledge that could potentially endanger reality. Always lurking, he is the void that is ever seeking eyes. Mora has been called the wisest of the Daedric princes, with a mind as old as Tamriel and a body of slime, though he describes himself as the riddle unsolvable, the door unopenable, the book unreadable, the question unanswerable.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Who did it? The Diddler. He's covered in Diddler's baby oil.
It's me, the Riddler.
That's why he's so slimy. He's covered in Diddler's baby oil.
Fucking KY jelly and all sorts of stuff.
He is a tentacle monster.
That he is, though. He's hentai-tentacle for sure.
Unlike most princes, Hermaeus Mora typically does not take on humanoid form, manifesting instead as a black cloud of varied grotesque assemblages of eyes, tentacles, and claws, or a featureless purple vortex known as the Wretched Abyss. Though according to some sources, he occasionally took on a form resembling that of a mortal. He speaks with a thundering bray. If that's what you call it. I call it as a shout.
Thundering bray. You a horse?
That'd be a neigh, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be a neigh, not a bray.
He resides everywhere and nowhere, but takes glee in tormenting mortals from his realm in oblivion, the plane called Apocrypha, an endless library where the infinite pages...
Sounds fucking awesome.
Where the infinite pages of countless books containing all forbidden knowledge are found. Each book sports a black cover.
Blowing loads into those fucking books. Just put them back on the shelf.
Well, they're covered in slime already, so.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what he's been doing too. He's like, fucking, boom. That'd be so fucked up. You go to a library, right?
Yeah.
And you buy a book, or not, you rent a book. You go home and you open it, right? You get to one page where it's stuck, and you fucking creak it open, and you just feel like a fucking cum stain. You're like, what the fuck? Kind of sick. You know, me just saying that. More than likely, with the amount of people out there,
Somebody has done it.
someone just fucking dropped a load into a book in a library.
No, I would not doubt that one bit.
Put it right back up on the shelf.
Huh?
If he was smart, he'd do a magazine instead. That really looks fucking different.
Just leave a wet stain.
Just a fucking, like with that wrinkle stain. You're like, how the fuck did this get wet?
It's in the middle of the book. No other page is messed up.
And it looks like it's got a weird fucking crust to it, too.
Each book sports a black cover without a title, and the realm is reported to be haunted by ghosts forever searching for knowledge. His servants include Daedra, such as the Seekers, the Lurkers, and the Watchers. But, it sounds like some pedophile or something. The Seeker, the Lurker, and the Watcher.
The fucking pedophile ring. There's three of them, the trio.
You got the Seeker, he finds him. The Lurker,
The Watcher looks at him like he's watching him all the time. So the Watcher watches him, right? The Secret gets him,
Yeah.
and the Lurker, what does the Lurker do?
Follows him.
But the Secret already, I guess, right. So the Watcher finds him, right?
Yeah.
The Lurker follows them home to find out where they live, and the Secret goes and gets them. Perfect.
It's funny that he comes out like that. But he is known to have mortal worshippers too. Sailors and seafaring folk refer to Hermaeus Mora as the Tide King, master of the seas, and one whose tentacles rise from the deep, as being a being who lurks in the oceans and pulls vessels down into the abyss.
Jeez.
So kind of like the Kraken almost.
Fucking terrifying.
Similarly, the Khajiit Mora controls the tides and lives in a vast library under the sea. Hermaeus Mora is tangentially related to the origins of the Morag Tong by association with his sibling Mephala. Mora's enemies are said to be Urbanarm and Vermina, and the summoning day is the 5th of the first seed. And next week we will go over the rest of them.
Yeah.
And we'll start off with Hersine.
Hersine?
Mm-hmm. Hersine will be the next one.
I remember like just walking around with those fucking fat-ass black books. And you couldn't even fucking read them.
I know. No title or anything.
Damn. I used to love I just love like if that would be my career if I lived in like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Would be an antique book collector.
An antique book collector.
Hell yeah, like finding like an old like the first volume of a book deep in the fucking ruins of an old temple.
Yeah.
Like I got the book and I take it back to my appraiser. It's like, my God, this is the 7th volume of Servidius Pluton. He spoke of astrology and astronomy. He was a genius at mathematics too. And I'd be like, oh, cool. And I just fucking flip through it. It's just like he just drew a dick for some reason. Not one of his bitches. He just got bored.
Or they're interpreting something completely different from the book than what it is.
Like, that's a cock. That sounds. That's a solar ring. You know, that's a cock.
That's a cock ring.
Or sneak into some fucking mansion from some rich guy and steal his rare volume of like some fiction story written by some author.
Yeah.
I wish they would add like more book stuff.
Yeah.
If I got my Skyrim, I'd probably mod the fuck out of it to include every book from the other games.
Yeah.
That's not in the
because there are a lot missing, right?
Yeah, they always have like a general library.
Yes.
Of what they all get, and then something get like a specific book, like a specific like listing of books that only came out in Oblivion, only came out in Morrowind.
I think there's some that are from Daggerfall, and then what was the first one, Arena?
Yeah.
I don't know if Arena had all that extra.
I think Arena was just a straightforward, boring game.
Right.
Just regular.
Not really a true RPG game.
And I don't think so. Then Daggerfall wasn't really that true an RPG game either. But you can go like damn near everywhere. All over Tamriel, but it was all just generic fucking generated like backgrounds.
And Morrowind was the first one I think that actually had the lore and everything associated with it.
But man, I would add every book to Skyrim from the originals that's missing.
Yeah.
And just be looking for all of them. If I had a backpack like probably 800 pounds of just books.
You get your encumbrance?
Basically, it was all because of books. And like, so I leave this one, I got to read this one first, and I just drop it.